Thank you.
Hey everybody! I don't know exactly which camera I'm on right now, but I tell you what, this is what we're gonna do. I am Roger Penzabene. I'm welcoming you on to In the Know. I'm filling in for Cassia Rice today, and we having little situations with live TV, but the show has to go on. So I'm holding it down for Cassie, and I'm trying to find my camera. So if you see me bouncing around, it's because I'm trying to look for my camera. But I would like just camera one to be good. If we could get it on camera one, that's cool. Uh, but I want to introduce Maurice Turner. He's running for mayor of Highland Park in Highland Park, Michigan, and he's a real cool guy that I've come to know. And I think you guys ought to check him out and support whether you're a Highland Park resident or you're alumni of Highland Park or you just want to see Highland Park improve. Remember, you don't have to live in the city limits to support. You might live in Detroit on the border. You might live in Ferndale. You might just for your sake, your pleasure, you might remember Highland Park at a different time. So just find reasons to support. That's what I'm saying. If you like progressive politics, if you want to see cities come back, bounce back, it's always you can support. You can support by writing a check. You can support by maybe professional services. Just any way you can help make things better. That's what I advise. That's what I do. And so uh, without further ado, I just want to introduce you to Maurice Turner and tell him who you are and about yourself. And this is your camera here. You can look at
Okay.
camera one,
Yeah.
but just tell him about yourself.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Roger. Pleasure being here. I'm excited about a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely excited about um, the election season and this mayor race here in Highland Park. I'm Maurice Turner, and I am running for mayor of the city of Highland Park, Michigan, a historical city
Mm-hmm.
with so many things that people remember, that people have enjoyed, people have connected with, and it's a city full of people who really are part of change, but also really want things to change as well. And we see change all around us, right? We
Okay.
see things going on all around us. And so we want to be part of that. We want to be able to enjoy our city, enjoy each other,
Mm-hmm.
and really build community. And that's really what has been my focus since I've been in Highland Park.
Okay. Cool. So tell us, like all the ins and out about Maurice, and like why you're gonna be such a great mayor because you're a great guy. So let's start with that. Who you are as a man, as a person, as a
Yeah,
stakeholder, and then we'll get into the political stuff.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am. I'll be heading into my 40s this year in August, so I'm excited about that chapter of my
Okay.
life. But I grew up in a small town just a few hours southwest of here called Cassopolis, Michigan.
Okay.
Hardworking farming town, you know,
Okay.
full of people just like us here who work hard. We do our best. We want to thrive and survive where we live.
Okay.
And so that's where I grew up. And my two parents, Roger and Evelyn Turner, I grew up in a household of 5 kids. We lived in a, 3 bedroom,
Right.
1 bathroom home. So 7 of us were sharing, in a lot. So I grew up really understanding how important teamwork is, how
Okay.
important it is to work together, how important it is to, honor other people's perspectives, but also have some empathy and understanding so that we can, all see ourselves in each of those
Right. Right.
things. Um, so grew up there, I migrated to Michigan State, where me and my twin brother went to undergrad there, and from there I've been really in Detroit area ever since the early 2000s, and I've never really left.
Okay. So now let me get my bearings. Cassopolis, that's state going towards Ohio, right? By
Going towards
Three Rivers and
Yep, Three Rivers, Benton Harbor,
Pawpaw.
St. Joe,
Okay,
Niles. Because
Okay,
a lot
yeah,
of people know
Niles.
where Niles is, because if you go down 94, you're going to see probably like 5 exits for Niles. So
Okay.
even though Niles is not that big, it does have a lot of exits. But yeah, just a hardworking town.
And I would think it's a kind of an advantage for you because you know how small towns work. Highland Park is only 3 square miles, just shy of 3 square miles, right? So
Yeah.
it's not this big metropolis like Detroit is. It's surrounded by Detroit, but it has a different dynamic.
For sure.
Sometimes, to my experience, because I'm a Detroit native, I've been in and out of Highland Park all my life and seen it. You know, when I was a kid, it was this nice place to envy that you just wanted to live there because it was so pristine. It had everything, and then I watched it fall. But they always had, regardless of the economic and the politic, it always had that small town vibe, and they liked it.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it was like, even though it's literally surrounded by Detroit,
Yeah.
it was a slower, more laid back little city. So I guess maybe did that appeal to you? Is that what helped you to move to Highland Park versus Detroit? Because if you were at Wayne State, you were like, depending on when you went there, it wasn't Midtown. Back in the day, I don't know when you went, but it was Cass Corridor
Yeah.
at my time. But like, how'd you end up in Highland Park?
Yeah, I mean, I tell this story and I really don't fake it, because I am always about really being, transparent about things. But I really just, we were just kind of looking around at different things, me and my now husband, and we were looking around. We were living over at 7 Mile in Livernois for a few years. Me and my brother had a home there for several years, and but this house on Easton Street just called our name, and we honestly have I've always loved historic architecture. I've always loved historic homes. I've always loved history in general. I went to a predominantly black Baptist church in growing up, and I was always fascinated with the history. It was like part of the Underground Railroad. We have a historical marker, so like I grew up in this small town that had a lot of history, and so it was almost natural, like you said. It had this
feel
small
that
town,
vibe.
yeah, that
Okay.
vibe, that energy just pulled us to Highland Park, and it pulled us in a way. I guess the avenue was this beautiful historic home that was, almost on the verge of being condemned.
The one you got.
Yes.
So you had to rehab the house.
It was in shambles. Literally, we walked in and there was water. I mean, pools of water coming down from the second story all the way down through the basement. There were 3 or 4 inches of water in the basement, and the house someone had owned it, but just really had not
Neglected
caretaken
it,
for
yeah.
it, at all.
Yeah.
They did a little, on the outside and everything, in terms of caretaking for the yard, and I think even most of the community members did that. But the house had 2 huge holes in the roof, and so we went to town to get it restored and really bring it back to its former beauty.
Okay.
Really
Now,
restoring it and not a renovation.
I want to commend you on that because, like I said, I remember when Highland Park was the place that it was a nice place, especially if you had family. People, when I was a kid, I thought rich people lived in Highland Park. So I appreciate that you saw past the blight and all of that to say, hey, I can do something with this. And I hear my grandmother always, she used to say, one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you, like, for those who don't know, the streets, Easton and Moss, are part of the historic district of Highland Park, because that's when Henry Ford, Highland Park is the first suburb in the United States, founded by Henry Ford Sr. of Ford Motor Company. And Chrysler Corporation was founded in Highland Park as well. So a lot of people don't know that Easton, Moss, and where they call the state streets, Rhode Island, Connecticut, that's where all the big executives for Ford and Chrysler and even some of the GM people used to live. And a lot of those homes were designed by Albert Kahn. Did you luck out and get an Albert Kahn house?
You know what? I seriously have looked into so much about our home. And I found out some really cool things. One of the first owners, actually the second owner of the house, he was a physician with Harper Hospital back in the day. He was a well-known forensic doctor.
Okay.
And his name was Frederick Morse. And I actually found his great-great-grandson who lives in Nashville, and he knows all about the TV show and the restoration of the house, and just was so happy to hear. And he's like the last living descendant of his family, male descendant.
What about now? What's with the TV show?
So we worked hard general managing our entire project with our house way before Nicole Curtis stepped in. So bought the house in early 2019, and then for about a year and a half we were renovating that house. And Nicole Curtis, we saw a quick little reel that she did on Instagram, and she was asking people for asking people who were in middle of renovating their home or some type of project that they couldn't get done for whatever reason it may have been. And we just stumbled on this request, and she was starting this new show called, she had a show, her previous show was called Rehab Addict, but she was now doing this rescue series helping homeowners with these issues with their renovation. And so we reached out to her, and I mean, she came that day and was like, wow, this house is beautiful. But we were so kind of, maybe I'll say like 20-30% done with restoring the home, and we had all contractors lined up. We had several people working on the home, and then we came across her. She came in. She was like, well, you might need to get a little bit more done in order for us to get to that point of considering you for this new show. But I mean, this was like the middle of the pandemic we were talking about. And so a few months after that initial meeting with Nicole Curtis, we got a call from one of the producers and was like, could you do an interview real quick? And we did a couple interviews with some people out in California, and then all of a sudden, like a few weeks after that, they were like, we're gonna have you on the show, and you're gonna be the second episode of the season.
And then they came in and they helped with the build and the cost
so things aren't always what you see on TV now. So
tell me about it.
I want to level the playing field a little bit on this, because people think that like all of a sudden this person just comes in and they just pay for everything and you got a brand new house. But we paid money for her to complete our project. We were probably about, I'd say, 60-ish% done when she came in. But we had already lined up everything. a lot of the we had already got our kitchen designed, so we had all the cabinets. I mean, we had kind of things lined up, but she really pieced it all together, and she put us on this fast track
Okay.
of getting the house done because we were trying to plan for our wedding, which we had at our home.
Okay. Okay.
So it was just a whole kind of collage of things. But on top of that, like I said, it was pandemic time, but they were amazing. Nicole is
Okay.
Energizer Bunny.
Well, that's cool. So we're gonna take a quick station ID and then come back and
Yeah.
get more into the politics. So you're watching In the Know on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. We're streaming live every Friday at 6 p.m. right here, and you can follow and subscribe and like and comment and share on Facebook. And if you want to prefer to go to Twitter or Twitch or YouTube, you can do that. But enjoy us, and we're going to get right back into things, talking with Maurice Turner. He's running for mayor in the city of Highland Park, the historic city of Highland Park. And he was telling us about himself and where he came from and how he got to Highland Park. And so now we're getting ready to get into why you want to run for mayor. So, like you just talked about this house rehab. Did you need the headache to try to get into politics? So what prompted you to get into politics?
Yeah, I mean, still another interesting, series of events. But I've always been really a leader on some level. And so from my career that I've had for 15 years working in the nonprofit sector, providing financial education and counseling nationwide with one of the largest consumer credit counseling agencies,
Okay.
Green Path Financial Wellness. So I've been doing that for the past 15 years.
Okay.
But connecting with the community, I mean, we really got engaged. At least for me, I really went out and I started to connect with the residents because I really did want to know what were the good and what was
So
some of the bad.
Let me make sure I got it straight. So at first you just were trying to be a good neighbor and,
Yeah.
and get the lay of the land of where you decided to live. You
Yeah.
wanted to know what's really going on around here.
Well, that was one of the blessings that we had was that we had so much support,
Okay.
not just with our own family and friends, but really the neighbors of the community that we live
Yeah, they
in.
were glad that
You
you
know?
came to do something with this raggedy ass house. I'm just talking real like how the people do. They was like, I would welcome you too. I'm like,
Yeah.
especially if my house is nice and I know the blocks. I know Eastern
Yeah.
and Mall. So most of the homes are. That's part of
Well kept, yeah.
That's the part of Highland Park that people, still kind of respect and take care of. So I'm sure they were like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
What can we do? You need a lawnmower? You need a shovel? What do you need? So
Yeah,
okay.
so we had so many people connect with us, reach out, say, hey, like, we need some help over here. We were youngish, and it just really excited me that people were so welcoming and we started to connect not just in our little neighborhood there but throughout Highland Park and even with some of the leaders
Okay.
of Highland Park as well. And so that energy was just, yeah, I mean, you couldn't really deny it.
Mhm.
And a lot of people talk about that energy that you feel in Highland Park, that vibe, that small town feeling, but
Right.
they are dedicated. They've lived there for generations, and they've been committed to staying there from ups
Okay,
and downs.
that's the good. So let's get to the bad and the ugly, because something
Yeah.
something sparked you to say, I need to get involved even
Yeah.
more. It's one thing to be a good neighbor
Mhm.
and a good concerned and responsible citizen, but it's not the majority that decide to get into politics and then go for the boss job, mayor, especially in a depressed city like Highland Park, coming out of COVID. Like it's so many. The deck is stacked. So
Right.
like I'm trying to get in your head and was like, why do I want to do this?
Yeah.
So help us understand this.
First, I have to say, I just say that it really was divine intervention, and I thank God that we were able to connect with so many people, but also see the need. Sometimes we go into communities or we've lived in communities and we don't really pay attention to those things, the needs of the people. So it really was through those connections and meeting all kinds of different people from all different types of neighborhoods, not just the beautiful historic districts, but also in the other areas where we see blight and overgrowth and streets that you can't really get down, and sidewalks and all these different things. And so we actually started really kind of grassroots of beautifying and cleaning up the city. So that's how we started, and it was really started with our neighbor who now is no longer with us. Her name was Mrs. Dorothy Eady.
Okay.
And she kind of pulled us in and was like, let me give you some insights. Let me give you some history. But also, let me understand how you can see yourself in our city's future. How can you be a part of that? And let me kind of bring you along. And so we started cleaning up around our neighborhood.
She was the block club president.
She was,
Okay,
yeah. Block club president. I mean, she was really very...
She was the in the know lady at Highland Park.
If you knew Highland Park, you probably knew Mrs. Eady. So, but she was really valuable because she she expressed that energy that we were just talking about, that vibe, and she kind of brought us in as her sons, if you will, and really taught us a lot. But really, she taught us how we could be part of the community by really doing the hard work. So we went out, started cleaning up, started helping others who were cleaning up in the city, and then we started a nonprofit, Rehab Highland Park, just a few years ago, and we started really just making efforts to help clean up and beautify the city.
That's commendable. So I guess things weren't happening, not happening fast enough, easy enough. You as a expert in how to manage monies and things like that, is that what sparked you to say, I can do this better? It's got to be a better way.
Well, I think the challenges that we're facing as a city in Highland Park aren't new to me.
Okay.
I moved to Detroit initially, a while ago, to really be part of the change, not to, take advantage or anything like that, but to really say, I can't complain about something if I'm not part of it.
Right.
And so, and I really have that philosophy that, like, I really don't want to ask someone to do something that I wouldn't be willing to do myself. And so we started there in Highland Park, understanding that the need was, illegal dumping, overgrowth, community members and homeowners who needed help with cleaning up their yards or picking up things around in the alleys and different things like that. And so it was really out of that work with our nonprofit and connecting even more with the community and supporting others who've been doing this for a long time that I was like, man, like, it would be great to see that city that I've been told about, that city that was so idealistic, that city that was so prosperous, that city that was full of beauty and historic homes and the businesses that help thrive it. But I understand that it was, it was that same kind of suffering that Detroit went through.
Right.
Businesses leaving, tax base loss,
Schools, loss of schools.
loss of schools, enrollment, drugs,
Loss of people, population.
yeah, and the drug
Yeah.
situation as well. And so now we're at this pivotal point. We are at a fork in the road where we're like, we see all this happening around us. Detroit, Ferndale, Hamtramck, so on and so forth. And we seem to just kind of at a snail pace,
Right. Everybody
kind
else
of moving
on
along.
the money train in Highland Park. And for those who don't know, I have skin in the game in Highland Park. I'm the president and CEO of the Highland Park Chamber of Commerce there. So I'm a Detroit native, and I'm a Detroit resident, but I'm invested in Highland Park professionally and personally. So that's why I'm familiar with the people and the landscape, and that's why I care, and that's why I'm concerned, and I'm there to help prosper the whole community. So yeah, like I personally, and we've started to talk and know each other for the past couple weeks. You were a godsend to me in the chamber, because trying to do business there from our point of view, we need something to work with, and we need the expertise, and we need the professionalism, and we just need the people of the whole spectrum of the city, elected officials and civic leaders, and then the residents to give a damn. So I'm glad you give a damn. That's just to, not to be profane about it, but just to like put it on the barbershop level, on the block level. You have to care not just about your stuff, but the stuff around you, because it's a whole. You can't prosper, you can't enjoy comfort and peace and things if everything else is in chaos.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody watching get that same sense of community, that same sense of pride, because that's what it is. It's about, like, it blows my mind when some people feel like, why should I care about what's going on in the next city over, or the next few blocks, or the other side of town? We all in it together.
Yeah.
By default, whether we want to or not. So that's what it has to do with you. Why you should care. So I mean, go ahead and finish telling us. We got a couple minutes before another station ID, and I want to get off into the politics, like to really, state how you are gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to think, the positive, how we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So,
No, thank you for sharing that perspective, because there are people who give a damn. There are people who have been doing this for decades, trying to clean up the city or keep it
like
clean.
Miss Edie.
Just like her, who did a little bit, but that is the point. That is what one of my mottos really is, and especially with our nonprofit, is that if everybody did a little, we can do a lot, because everybody can't do it. DPW can't do it all. City council can't do it all. Mayor can't do it all. We have to come together.
That's what a community is.
We have to respect that there are different viewpoints, different understandings of how we're going to get to the goal. We all want our city to be thriving, surviving. We want people to stay here. Ain't nobody trying to exclude or move out anyone. The purpose of our nonprofit is really that.
Okay.
Is not just cleaning up the city, but also doing it in a way that builds community, and also keeps people in their homes, and moving forward.
And hold your
in that.
point. Hold your point, everybody. So we got to do another station ID, but I want to let everybody know, like, we're doing things a little different. Like, the show has to go on, as they say. So we have some things that has circumstance where we're doing things a little different. I think I have another guest here, so you all have to excuse me while I take a peek and see if we got another guest. That's what we do here with independent productions and television. So even though we get a bump in the road, the show has to go on, and it's awkward a little bit. But we have a great guest and some great content, so just bear with me. But I'm gonna take this station ID first, and we're gonna peek and see if our other guest is here. I want you to hold on whether he's here or not. But anyway, you're watching In the Know. I'm Roger Penzabene. I'm filling in for Cassia Rice. This is her show. It comes on WJZZ Cool TV every Friday at 6 p.m. right here on. You can watch us live through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and all top social media sites. Like, follow, share, subscribe, leave your comments. You can tell Cassie that, hey, don't ever bring him back again, because I know she's better looking. But hey, I'm just trying to keep this train moving. But she'll be back next week, and just tune in, tap in, as the young people say, and we're gonna peek out in the hall real quick and see if our other guest is here. And then we'll resume. So can I peek out just to see is he here? I hate to do this. Everybody knows I hate to do this, but we have to get a little off the wall sometimes.
Yeah.
Dre, you here? Yeah. Come on in, man. We don't normally do it like this, folks,
How you doing?
but we got to keep this show rolling no matter what. And that's what we do in Detroit. We keep the show going and we do the business. So I wanted you to come in, and I wanted to introduce you guys, because he's a consummate politician, one of the new generation. Did you make it to 40 yet, man?
No.
Okay, well, that's even better. So you fit in the millennial class. So everybody, this is Yandre Otis, and he's a friend of mine, and he's running for county commissioner. And he's going to tell you about that. And I wanted to introduce you. This is Maurice Turner.
Okay, how
He's
you
running
doing,
for
brother?
mayor
How
for
you
the
doing?
city of Hyde Park.
Oh,
Yes. Nice to meet
So
you.
he's about to change too. So and he's a positive guy. So I want you to stay in so we can have that synergy, because this is your district, right?
yeah.
Okay, so you right at the border of Highland
I'm at the
Park,
border
and
of
it goes to in harmony with what I said. I think this is my personal opinion, everybody. I'm entitled to that sometimes. I think that a mayor, especially all the people in a city, such like I hang out in Ferndale, for instance, and I shop in Ferndale, and I enjoy in Ferndale, and that's a whole different vibe in itself. It's a predominantly LGBT community. I go to Hamtramck. Hamtramck is Bengali and East Indian and Eastern European, and then I'm in all parts of Detroit. So I think the elected officials, but especially the boss of the city, the mayor, he should be just known in Highland Park or Detroit. He should be known, especially if he's a really progressive guy and he's really promoting change. He needs to have relationships. He needs to have connections with the cities around him.
Right.
The mayor of Highland Park needs to be having lunch and dinner with Ferndale's mayor and Detroit's mayor. Like, they need to all be in this together, because how you gonna have buildings going up left and right down the street, literally down the street this way in Detroit, and down the street this way on the other side of 8 Mile in Ferndale, and like you were saying, Highland Park just sits there. You know, you go on the other side of the freeway to Hamtramck, they have stuff going on behind you. So it blows my mind that the mayor of the city, all the mayors should be seen together. I mean, even if it's for some type of community gatherings or something. I don't know. That could be something. Keep that on your to-do list. That I just think when the people can see the leaders vibing together, and then that makes like if you know let me I'm hogging the
But-
show, but I'm sorry.
No, you
Dre,
good.
get in,
The
get
thing
in and talk
that
about
is,
yourself.
You got to realize.
But first, tell them about who you are.
Okay, well, again, I
hold the
my
thought.
name is Andre Otis, running for Wayne County Commission, District 5. Wayne County Commission basically is the county board that oversees the contracts, the budgets, the ordinance, and the appointments of what goes on in the county. A lot of people don't pay attention to the county. I have no clue why, because that's where a lot of your money goes. I'm here about opportunity, transparency, inclusion, and seniors and mental health. Seniors are getting a raw deal. We all know nobody's speaking about mental health. Everybody's not getting the opportunities they should. Transparency, that's a whole nother issue. Obviously, if you don't know your commissioners are or what they're doing, obviously nobody's being transparent. Inclusion, I mean, I feel like everybody needs to be involved considering this is a new district. But to harp on what you were saying, we got to realize, unfortunately, in our politics around here, people only get along when it's election time. You talking about a city like Highland Park. We stay in Highland Park. Did a lot of stupid stuff in Highland Park, but I stayed there. But I also was able to coach at Highland Park High School. Highland Park don't even have a high school anymore.
No school. I think
they got Barber left.
Yeah, one
and
elementary school.
They have
Barber.
K through 8.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot to involved in that.
Right.
But you said it that the leaders have to be the example in order for change to happen. Because if you don't, well, you start to see yourself losing out on the game.
Yeah.
And everything being built up around you. And so that is part of my strategy. That is part of my plan, is that we have to not be so focused on trying to reinvent the wheel. We have to connect with the other people around us. We have to be able to create relationships, partnerships, and alliances, because those are the things that really put you in that spot where things not only can be developed or redeveloped, but understanding how to do it on a platform that encompasses the community first, but then also the right developments, the right
There you go.
redevelopments. And not just any old thing, not just, oh, well, we're going to do a favor for this person or whatever and hope that it stands and lands. But I'm talking about lasting change, things that are going to be here for a long time, so that our city can be thriving, not just for 5 or 10 years, but for decades and generations to come.
Right.
And that is valuable to me.
And again, that's why I say all the elected officials are considered, in my book, the leaders of a city, town, what have you. But the mayor, he's the big dog on the block. If the mayor is at the community function, then the city council ought to be there. And if they're not, I'm looking around as an invested stakeholder. I'm like, okay, this time. But the next time, oh, you're not there again for city council. You know, so now I'm going to start to wonder, what is your role? And especially in a little city like a Highland Park. You live there. Everybody like literally lives there. So how can you have a citywide function, but the leadership is never there?
Yeah.
So I think it starts with the mayor, and he sets the tone, and like you said, brings in the business, make it welcoming, make it safe. But we agree on that. I want you to explain. It goes to the overall education. Have an educated vote. But nobody knows what the county commissioners do. So kind of like, how does the county commissioner serve the community, but how is the county commissioner an asset to a mayor?
Well, I said it earlier. County commissioners basically are the city council, the state reps of the county. They oversee the budget. Unfortunately, this damn thing hit. But the budget hasn't been redone since on the website since 2019.
Okay.
COVID's came in since then, so there's been more money, involved in the budget. So there's definitely more than $1.9 billion. But they're supposed to oversee the budget and update and let you know what there is. But again, that goes to the transparency. They're not much transparent there, and it's it goes to what you're saying. We have opportunities to have leaders to build these alliances to create what we need in the community. But when you have levels of government that just sit there forever, forever, what the hell progress do you think is going to happen? Um, Wayne County also oversees the legislation of the county. That means that new jail that was just built, that they still put more money into every other 2-3 weeks, and that was supposed to have been built a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That money's still going there. They do the appointments for those boards. These boards have become the best friend's body of work. My homeboy gonna get this job to appoint and pull this money here. My homegirl, we got to stop all that stuff because a city like Highland Park is really paying behind that. I remember being a kid seeing all the stuff that was in Highland Park. You had a Sears, you had this, you had that, all that stuff. You had a big food stamp office. Highland Park has went to hell since then.
Right.
And it boils down to our leadership in Highland Park just really hasn't been leading.
They dropped the ball.
And it bothers me because my thing is this. I'm a young guy going against a senior elder. It's not personal. But the thing is, what are you doing right now? For Highland Park to have a mayor that's been there over and over and over and over and over again, and this thing is steadily going down and down and down, that's a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
Who's being paid to throw away votes or whatever? I don't know what's going on.
Right.
But it just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know how many people know, but I want to, like before, because we go short on time, can you touch real quick the relationship between a county commissioner and a mayor and a city council? How would a county commissioner help or service a mayor? What's that relationship?
Unfortunately in Detroit, what I'm finding out is Wayne County doesn't even really send any money to Detroit. But for somewhere like Highland Park, Inkster, that's where a lot of money that goes. The relationship is for I'm sure you know who your county commissioner is out there, to help you all get money. Like he said, that relationship needs to be there, especially for a small town like Highland Park. There's a lot of money in that county budget that I'm not understanding why it's not being shifted to Highland Park, because you need it.
So
people pay taxes.
So I'm jumping in. So county commissioners are the eyes and ears throughout the county to answer back to the CEO.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
so the county exec, he has his people all over the whole county.
Yeah.
So I would think that, if I know the county commissioner for Highland Park and Hamtramck is Martha G. Scott. For those who need to know, and we're talking about having an educated mind and knowing what's going on in your community. Okay, so just in general, the county commissioner would, in a perfect world, have a friendship, have a working relationship with the state rep and the mayor and the city council, right? So if the mayor says, "Hey, I need
think about it like
new
this.
playground. I need to upgrade this playground," he would call you up and say, "Dre, you got any money for me for a
county
playground?"
commissioners are a part-time position, so that means that's a lot of time for your county commissioners to build a relationship with the mayors and the state reps, your congresspeople, and your city council. That's where I get so offended at, because again, that's a part-time job making almost $80,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I should know what's going on with my mayor and if they need more money.
Yeah.
I should know what's going on in the community. If I have a budget here, we could funnel some money over there to help out. Why not?
Yeah.
Everybody's not having these conversations because, again, it's the good old boy system.
Yeah. But I think you said that we've touched on that, right? It's about building relationships. Because without the relationships, not everybody is going to get along.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to put aside that part
Meet in the middle.
for the best of the community. You have to put aside that for the growth of your city. And you have to do it for the future, for the kids, for, like you said, seniors who have been here, who need to see these things happening so they feel that they're part of the community that is prospering, that's moving forward. And there's value in that perspective from all the way to the young infants, all the way to
grandma.
the seniors,
Yep.
to grandma.
So hold your thought real
yeah.
quick. We're going to do the station ID to take care of bills and things. So everybody, you're watching In the Know, hosted most of the time by Cassia Rice. I'm filling in today and making the show go on. And we have some great guests. So I didn't want to cancel the show. So I said, hey, I'll sit in and because I want you all to know these guys. And I hope they'll be seeing a lot of you soon. These two guys are running. One, Maurice is running for mayor of Highland Park. You can look him up. We're going to give you all the contact information in a minute for these guys. And Yandre Otis is running for county commissioner in District 2, if I believe. District 5, I'm sorry. So anyway, in our last 10 minutes or so, I want to go to each one of you guys and kind of surmise what people can expect from you progressively to improve, or what you're going to do. Give us an insight. Give us some hints about what you're going to do if we elect you. You know, what kind of leader are you going to be, what you're going to do for the city, for the people, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to start with you, Maurice. Give us a little brief of what's important to you to get done in the city.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm honestly, it's about the people. It has to be. But it's also about how that lines up with the need right now in our community. Right now, we have to clean up our city. We have to get rid of blight, and we have to fix our infrastructure, our roads, our sidewalks, and you know, that is valuable to just even our psyche, you know, in general. So I've already started that work. So that's part of it. Other part is really helping the homeowners and businesses. Finding that money. We just talked about it. Where is the money?
Show us the money.
Show us the money. I mean, I'm being serious because there is money out there, but we have to have a functioning government. We have to have a leader who's going to go out there, fight for the people, get in the faces of the people who have the money and say, where is it at? Because this is the need we have in our community. So that's part of it. Homeowners, helping them get their homes repaired, helping them get the things that need to be done. Businesses who are struggling, let's find a way how we can help them stay in our city, stay as a tax base, and be able to have longevity. And then on the other end, it really is kind of, this is almost first, is a functioning government that's transparent. We've been talking about transparency and really accountability. We lack that accountable part of things. Who is doing what and why, and it really has to be a scenario where we're pointing the finger at ourselves.
Okay.
What am I doing? What am I doing or not doing to help or hinder the city? What am I doing to help or hinder my community? So we have to look at ourselves, turn the mirror around.
Some responsibility.
Yeah, and just have some more responsibility. But I want the government to function as it should, be professional, but also so that the residents and the citizens can see that things are getting
And have some
done.
faith in your competency.
Exactly,
Yeah,
trust.
yeah.
Because when you have the trust level there with your government, there isn't so much division amongst people. And so, and you also know the truth. When there's that transparency, you know the truth. You ain't got to search for the truth. You ain't got to have 20 narratives out there of why this didn't get done or who didn't do this for that reason. Like, the truth is there. We have a mayor who's out in the community, out going to do the things that need to get done, and I'm that guy.
Okay.
I want to do it.
I like
and
how you
wanna-
said that with confidence.
I want to get it done. Hey, if you know anybody that knows me, I'm a spitting image of my dad, and he is the hardest working guy I know.
Okay.
And I'm ready to do the work for
All right, now
Highland Park.
Dre, you
All right, appreciate it.
get out of you?
So, again, my name is Andre D.A. Otis. I am running to be your next Wayne County Commissioner, District 5. And it's simple for me. I'm running on the Otis Plus M plan. Opportunity, transparency, inclusion, seniors plus mental health. We spoke on it earlier. This is an opportunity for us to have somebody at the table that's actually going to consider what the people are saying. It's enough we're having people that's just going to do what their homeboys and their mayors that's funding the money into their account say. It's more about what the people say. Transparency. I believe that with City of Detroit having 4 or 5 cable networks, damn, at least Wayne County should be able to partner and get on one to show exactly what y'all doing in live way. It shouldn't always have to boil down to Zoom. I also believe that we should be able to relax parking, those days that we have meetings down there. I mean, if you want people to come and see what's going on, you already know as soon as you come down there, it's a parking fee. Or I call it an interest fee to come see what your elected officials are doing. Inclusion. This is a new district. District 5 has went through redistricting. A lot of people don't know Wayne County went through redistricting, but it has. So this is an opportunity to bring this district together, include everybody into the process. Seniors, I have a 98-year-old grandfather. I know for a fact the seniors are getting what they should. There's money out there that they should be getting, and they're not getting it. And, I mean, it's time for us to put people in the seat that actually want to go out there and do it. Mental health. You can't do a doggone thing if you don't have your mind.
Well,
You can take away guns and do this and do that all day long, but somebody that has a mental disorder gonna find something to bust you upside your head with and do whatever they got to. We're steadily building jails, but we don't have mental health hospitals. You can't fix a mental disorder inside of a prison. And obviously we've adapted to that. It's time out for that. So I do propose that I work with the state, the city, and the federal government to put a mental health facility actually in the city of Detroit. So those are the things I really want to focus on. And enough of my talking. I'm going to pass it back to you.
And I just want to say that was when he was talking about the things with the bad things that happen when you have a mental disorder. I wasn't laughing. That was the comedy and the tragedy.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
So to wrap this up, guys, I'm talking as a chamber guy now. As the Chamber of Commerce, it doesn't matter where you are. The chamber is kind of like the conduit between the people, the stakeholders, and the elected officials, and the private sector business, small and big corporations. And it's been a frustration for me in Highland Park because it's too much dysfunction and too much fragmentation and Hatfield McCoy type attitude. I would love to see somebody, yourself, if that's how it's gonna land, the best man get the job, and then when you get the job, I mean, things happen. We know you can't always do things exactly how you said. It's things nobody's revealed to you yet. You don't get privy to the books and things. So people know that. Your politicians, they are giving you a general plan, but they haven't seen the books at City Hall. They don't know where all the bones are buried at yet. Right. As Dre was saying, we have to be engaged. We have to stay on top of it. We don't get mad at the guy because he said, "Oh, you said you were gonna get a school." You don't get a school in 6 months,
yes, sir.
Especially when you didn't have one in 20 years. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna cost some money out of your pocket. It's gonna cost some sweat equity for you getting a rake or a shovel. So, what I'm saying and pleading is to vote for based on performance and track record, experience, education. You want somebody that can go in the room and do a deal. You want somebody that's likable, that the business wants to do business with them, that they want to come into your community. You want people to move in. You don't want to disclude and chase away people. So before I get on my soapbox, and Maurice had a little more time than Dre because you guys can watch Dre later on this evening. He has his show here, The Quarantine, that comes on Fridays at 8 p.m. So I think you'll be here tonight,
Yeah,
won't
I'll
you?
be here.
Yeah, he plays hooky on me sometimes. I give him a break because he's out there on the campaign trail, but he plays hooky sometimes. And I don't want to have to host 2 shows and you see more of me. And he's got Roz and another hot lady with him, Henrietta Ivy. So anyway, You guys, it's been fun. It's been an enlightening thing for me. I support you guys personally. I urge my chamber to get with these guys. We'll get with Maurice because Dre is in Detroit. So, but I support you personally.
Get with me
You know that.
anyway.
Yeah.
Money goes a long way.
Everybody, May the 1st, come here to the studio, Backyard Boogie. It's a community thing. It's free. We feed everybody hot off the grill. You bring a chair. You bring whatever you like to relax. We got live music. It's here, 19730 Ralston Street, right here at the studios in the backyard. It's safe, secure, adults only, at 3 p.m. to 9 on the 1st of May. These two guys are invited. If you come and see them, you can get more information from them. You can get to know these guys. They're great guys, and I believe they're sincere. But don't take my word for it. Check them out.
Yes.
Give out your information real quick, guys, how to find you. Maurice first.
Yeah, Maurice for mayorhp.com.
You guys do that while I go and work the
Gotcha.
control.
You can find me at Maurice for mayorhp.com on social media. You can find me at Maurice for Mayor HP as well, and Maurice Turner. So yeah, I'm here. I'm ready to work and get the hard work done. It is time, and I feel this is the time for Highland Park to look at the future and who is ready to lead the future to do that.